Man, I didn't even get to tell you the time I laid into John Laurinaitis and we had a battle.
The floor is yours, sir.
They call me, they're going to Detroit. They call me, they want to bring me in. Lenny, we're going to be in Detroit. We'd like to have you come in and do a dark match for us, you know. Okay, perfect. Fly me in. Don't do anything. Now I'm hot, right? I got paid. I don't give a shit. No, I'm fine at home. Quit dangling the carrot, right?
Right.
So I called Jim Ross and basically I think I did two shows. There was two shows. I worked neither show. They're busy Monday night. Oh, you'll work Tuesday for the
Right.
SmackDown because it's taped. Didn't even work that. So now I'm mad. And I called Jim Ross and I tell him, I said, listen, I don't know if this is a joke or what this is, and maybe it really wasn't. And I know everybody's busy because I've always respected Jim Ross. He's always talked to me nice. I said, but John called me and none of this happened. Well, he must have called John and shoot his ass because I get an email the next day basically uh, telling me off, right? So Norman Smiley, I think, still has this letter because he couldn't believe I wrote it. So I basically write him one back. He called at the end, he called me average. He goes, you still look like you did back in the late 90s. Your work's average at best, blah, 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 blah. That's what he told me in this email. So I fired him right back to him. I said, all it takes is a break in this business or somebody you know. Say, for instance, you're the official flag waver for the sheep herders, but your brother's part of the biggest tag team in pro wrestling history. I wonder how that person got a job. And I go, 75% of your talent on TV couldn't lace my boots. So don't tell me I'm average because I can be on your TV. It's just that you don't have anything for me or anything like that. I let him have it. And I think this is where he got the last rib on me. I wrote Mr. Average Lenny Lane. I get a call the next day. Lenny, maybe I took it a little bit too far. But at the end, when you ended your email with Mr. Average, I thought there's something there. Think of it and get back to me. So I think of this Mr. Average gimmick. This was probably one of my best thoughts ever. So I have a guy who's out of the business, who hangs out with his friends, who's got a regular job, bitchy wife. You know the bitchy wife. Oh, that pro wrestling. Oh, you got to wrestle. You need some money. That wife.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all come down and we're watching the TV, and the friends always put you over. Lenny, you could be doing that, blah, 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 blah. To where somehow I get a dark match that gets canceled. This is how I get introduced back in the business, right? I had a little bit longer hair at the time. I cut my hair. Now I'm average, blah, blah, blah. And I'm in the back and somebody gets hurt and they need a guy. And Vince is back there. I wrote this whole fucking thing out. And he goes, of course, there's storylines. There's the basement and the TV and the bitchy wife. You need to get your friends out of here because you got a toilet to fix and blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
just that nagging wife that every husband hates, that every husband knows,
Right.
right? So that's tied into it. My friends, I get down there, and Vince tells me, get out there. You got to go. He goes, and what is your name? And I go, Lenny Lane. He goes, what's your real name? And I go, Leonard Carlson. He goes, get out there, Leonard. And I, again, lose every match, but I'm happy to be there. Right. So I'm
Right.
just every week I lose, I'm shaking the ref's hand like, hey, this is great. And then finally, Dusty, I think I had Dusty written in there as the guy who says, Lenny, why are you happy all the time? You lose every match. This to where it's like, what? To where now we can go a couple of different directions. Either they can kind of help me, or now I go into this slump where I like, oh, you know what I mean? Or pull a
Right.
Horowitz win out of nowhere. So
Right.
I've written this big thing, called John a couple times, didn't take my call, sent it in, emailed it. And I'm like, oh, that fucker got me.
Mm.
But I think in the end, I've got him. right?
Yeah.
We all look at, we could be mad at my career, right? Would have we liked to have been bigger stars? I'm sure you would have. I'm sure I would
Sure.
have. I'd like to have more
Sure.
longevity in the business. I would have
Sure.
liked to have all that. But I look at it like this. I can walk. I don't look like these guys in these 90s conventions we run into that are all brittle and broke up and bitter and hold on to every little bit of this because still selling the same jokes, trying to tell the same ribs they did back in the late 90s and the 2000s. And I'm like, it's sad to see, right? It's sad to
Yeah.
see these guys, man, with no money. No, and it's like, so I think I win in the end.
Well, Lenny Lane, John Laurinaitis, mention the two names in any circle, and I'm sure a lot more people would have a lot more nice things to say about you than John Laurinaitis. So
Oh, of course. Yeah, because we know
so
we know the stories, right?
you do win, my friend. Yeah, you do
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.